Hey guys, welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. This map is called Braxis Holdout.
Facility powering up.
On my team, the red team on the right, I am Abathur from StarCraft, and we have on my team Sylvanas, played by Glumdar. We have Nazebo, played by Farron, Kerrigan, played by Daximus, and Illidan, played by Rafalafa. On the enemy team, the blue team, we have Zagara, played by Dunka.
Systems online.
Another Abathur. This is what we call a mirror match when there's two of the same hero on both sides. Abathur, played by Zombie with an X. Ragnaros, played by Huss. Kel'Thuzad, played by Air. And Illidan, played by Bladzik.
Facility online.
Alright, the purpose of this map is to take control of both beacons on the north and south of the map for as long as possible. If you take control of both at the same time, then the pens of Zerg will start filling with Zergs to fight for you on your team, or fight for your enemy on the other team. Whoever has the higher percentage gets more Zerg. When one team reaches 100% on the beacon charging, then the Zerg are released down each lane. Oh, I just noticed we have Illidan on both sides as well. So, 2 Illidans, 2 Abathurs. So right now, not much is going on. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. We're just kind of fighting in the middle, trying to push each other back a little bit, trying to gain experience. We have 1 hero from both teams at the top, and we have 3 heroes at the bottom with assistance from Abathur as well. So I like to set some mines in the smoky areas, the grassy areas, just to see the movement of the enemy team. Oh, it's a close battle between both Illidans. Unfortunately, ours barely doesn't make it. So if we look at the talents here, the enemy Abathur is going mine build. I'm going what's called hat build, which is empowerments for this symbiote that appears above my own teammates. So for example right here, above Nazebo I have my little icon, and I get to shoot spikes out from him and provide shields to kind of empower Nazebo in battle. So the beacons have popped up, they're activated, ready to go. It looks like the enemy team has control over both of them, up to 38% so far. Our Illidan at the top was able to take neutral control of the top, and now taking our control of the top. So we have a red beacon on the top, ours, and the blue beacon on the bottom. Even though I was assisting Illidan there, it wasn't enough to take on 2 enemies, unfortunately, and he fell. Now again, the blue team, the enemy team has control of both, but our Sylvanas at the bottom is trying to take re-control of the bottom beacon. Nazebo comes in with my assistance against Kel'Thuzad with the enemy Abathur assistance. We're able to once again secure the bottom beacon. We are behind at this point as the blue team has 68% of the charge, and we only have 0 because we haven't taken control of both beacons at the same time. Right here I'm asking Illidan, are you going to hunt for your ultimate ability? Because that might determine what kind of talents I choose as well. So Illidan, his ultimate ability at level 10, one of them is Hunt, where he could basically have global influence, go across the entire map and attack someone from far away. It's like a really fast dive from basically anywhere on the map to another enemy.
Hero slain.
Alright, Zagara is sneaking over here trying to maybe snipe me, but we are aware of her presence. Illidan comes over and takes her out. So Illidan took out what's called a Zagara creep. Oh, not quite.
The enemy will have to deal with a much larger wave of Zerg than we will.
Alright, unfortunately the enemy team had the full charge of the Zerg. We didn't have much at all. And in full force at the top lane, the blue Zerg, the enemy Zerg, are pushing hard against our top lane here. We'll likely take this wall and most likely take that top fort as well. At the bottom we only have a few Zerg which are already pretty much taken out at 0%. We have 3 team members at the top trying to push back and defend that fort at all costs. And at level 7, I usually wait if there's an enemy Abathur as well. Notice I haven't picked a talent yet. I'm waiting to see what the enemy Abathur is picking before I pick my talent, because this can determine what talent I choose. Unfortunately, we lose the top fort. Illidan is working to secure one of the top siege camps. Alright, now that the enemy Illidan has picked level 7 talent as a mine, I will likely pick the mule talent, which is what I usually go for at level 7. And yep, that's indeed what I've chosen. The mule is a very powerful talent, which allows my team to repair buildings and structures. It's the only character in the entire game that can repair buildings and structures. As we can see right here, Sylvanas was pursuing Zagara. I laid some mines over in that smoky area preemptively and took her out. Even though we didn't win that first objective, we are ahead in experience, but just barely. We're both level 8, but we're a little bit ahead there, as you can see at the top. We're now working on securing several camps here. We have our camps on the right side, enemies have their camps on the left side. We do have some risk in the top lane as we've already lost the fort. And unfortunately we lost Nazeebo there. And unfortunately Kerrigan as well. Lots of pings going up at top. That was probably my fault, as I probably wasn't paying attention enough. I'm being pinged a lot here, as you can see. So that was likely my fault. Zagara comes once again to try to do more damage to our tower. I drop another mule to repair it up. She's tried that tactic several times in this game. I'm not sure if she is very successful in taking down that tower, as I can just repair it up, thankfully. Blue team is pushing pretty far into our top lane, but we're able to push them back as all 4 team members are up there at this point. That ultimate ability that you just saw the enemy Illidan do was the hunt that I mentioned earlier. Came flying in, but we were able to stun him with Ragnaros and shut that down almost immediately. This is a great time for the enemy team to unfortunately take both beacons. As you can see, the enemy Abathur is going mine build, and he's putting mines everywhere. Now that he's upgraded his mines, as you can see, it's slowing down our enemies, our teammates every time they hit them. We have control of the bottom beacon, and the enemy team has control of the top. Nazeebo has left his Gargantuan to kind of control and protect the bottom beacon, but it's not enough. Ragnaros takes it out, and retakes control of the bottom beacon as well. We are yet again behind on the objective. They have control over both beacons, and we are struggling to keep up. Things are getting too hot here. I try to pull back, but is it going to be enough to get away? Unfortunately, no. Illidan, with the assistance of the enemy Abathur, takes me out, and does the hunt ultimate on Sylvanas, takes her out as well. No, unfortunately, we had basically 0% of the Zerg. They got both beacons again, and full control, full force of Zerg coming down the bottom lane. We lose another one. Zagara falls. No, wait, actually that was the enemy Zagara, my bad. But our Illidan falls. Right now, the enemy team has 14 kills on us. We have 8 on them. So we are still behind. They have both their forts. They have both of their towers. And we are struggling to keep up. We are down 2 forts, and their Zerg is still up pushing, and the Zerg finally fall. Alright, now we're at risk for having the boss mercenary right here in the center of the map be taken by the enemy, so we are kind of aware that maybe we need to put some mines down there to have some vision on that. The entire team moves to the top to push that back a little bit. And they were able to flank Ragnaros there and take him out. Now remember, the later we get into a game, the higher level you are, the longer your time down, or your cooldown time is for your deaths. Ragnaros will be back in 20 seconds though. Zagara continues to push up the bottom lane, but with my assistance on Illidan, I come down, we hunt Zagara, but she most likely will get away behind the safety of her walls. At this point, we are losing map control. As you can see, the blue enemies, mercenaries, and minions are pushing down the top and the bottom. Right now, unfortunately, the enemy team is taking the boss mercenary in the middle of the map. I don't even think we're aware of this at this point. And while we are busy dealing with Zagara down here, unfortunately the enemy team does take the boss mercenary. And now this will work down the top lane. It's a very powerful mech unit that is hard to stop as it destroys towers and minions along the way. Our Illidan at the bottom camp, trying to take that. As you can see with my assistants on top, the symbiote, Abathur hat they call it, his attack speed has been increased and spikes and shields are applied to him. Right now we're fighting for the top camp. Illidan does his hunt ultimate and takes out our Nazeebo, unfortunately. Illidan decides to, with my assistance, try to take on both of these heroes. Even though he's low health, we are able to take him out. So now the enemy team is down 2 heroes, as opposed to our 1. Nazeebo will be back in about 10 seconds. Good timing for the beacons. We take control of the top. Enemy takes control of the bottom. Once again, the enemy Abathur is laying lots of mines here to protect that beacon. We have a bottom camp that was pushing about to the midway point, but unfortunately was taken out. I have dropped another mule on the top fort, trying to keep that alive, trying to heal that back up. Illidan has indicated that he is heading down to the bottom beacon. But the many mines make it very precarious, very risky. Kerrigan and Sylvanas is heading up to the top beacon. We were able to surprise Kel'Thuzad, take him out. Now they are down 1. But unfortunately at the bottom lane, Zagara is pushing to destroy that fort. Nazeebo hangs back, drops his Gargantuan to help out with the defense there, forcing Zagara to pull back a bit. We take the bottom beacon. That was a really fantastic move from the enemy Abathur. Laid a bunch of mines, came down, faced off with Illidan himself, kind of taunting him to come attack him. Unfortunately, our Illidan took the bait and was killed by those mines. But he was a good sport about it, as you can see. Nice reaction time for our Nazeebo, doing the ice block right at the moment of that Kel'Thuzad attack. Kerrigan is heading back. And unfortunately the enemy Abathur is once again taking the bottom beacon. Alright, looks like we've wisened up a little bit to those mines that happen to be everywhere down at this bottom beacon. Enemy Abathur is taking the top beacon. I am hiding in the safety of our nexus, as you can see here. Sylvanas just barely gets away before those ice shards come up from under her with Kel'Thuzad's ultimate ability. We're able to secure 2 kills there, which is perfect timing for maintaining control of these 2 beacons. Zagara takes advantage of this distraction and starts attacking the bottom tower. As you can see, there are 2 Zagaras. One of them is the Abathur clone, one of his ultimate abilities. I don't remember what ability I took. I took the Monstrosity on this game. We are able to defend that bottom tower just barely. and defeat the clone and the Zagara as well. Kerrigan, as you could just see, just took out what's called a Nidus Network. That's one of Zagara's ultimate abilities, which allows her global access to the entire map through an underground tunneling system. Now we have taken both control of both beacons, the south and the north one. Enemy Abathur is laying a mine on the top one and burrowing over to it to get back control of the top beacon. Very risky move, as we did see him. Now we're on our way to try to take him out, but it looks like that was a successful bait. Unfortunately, we lose Sylvanas to that. Kel'Thuzad on the enemy team takes control of the bottom beacon again, and thus starts the charge for their Zerg at 42% at this point. We take control of the top one again, pausing that progress. Kel'Thuzad tries to take out some of us with his ultimate ability. We see that Zagara is once again attempting to take out this bottom tower. Once again, Abathur does clone Zagara, and together they go to try to take out our fort, and it looks like this time they might succeed. And indeed, they do. Unfortunate for us. Now we are down... Oh! Zebo, with the help of my monstrosity, took out their top fort. Now it looks like we're almost even. We are one fort fewer than they are, and their enemy Zerg are on their way down the top lane, but it's only about half the Zerg as ours. We have 100% working our way down the bottom lane. It's a very close game. We do have a level advantage. As you can see, we have our level 20s, which is a very powerful, it's like ultimate ability times 2. So the enemy team is at a disadvantage, first of all because they are a level behind, but also because their Abathur is dead, cannot assist their team. They are down 1. We have all 5 in force on the bottom lane moving up. Ragnaros does have an ability to protect the tower for a short time. As you can see, he was like a big giant mode on top of that tower, but we forced him back, destroyed that tower, making our way up the bottom lane. Will this be enough to destroy their tower and finish the game? We'll see. It's going to be a close one. Illidan, the enemy Illidan, is very low in health. We are managed to take him out. They are down 3 at this point with almost full minute countdowns for their death cooldown. Not enough to come back. With those 3 deaths and the full force of the Zerg, we were able to manage a victory here. Even though it was a close game, it was well fought and a lot of fun. And we all say GG. Good sportsmanship there. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you guys on the next game.